My name is Jabari Dorsey. I'm the mentoring program manager for College Now Greater Cleveland. Um, Thank you, Heidi, for allowing me to speak with everyone here at Tri-C, just so we're not complete strangers at all. Like I said, my name is Jabari Dorsey. I'm the mentoring program manager with College Now Greater Cleveland. Been in the education space probably for the last 7.5 years. So I went to Kent State University, got my master's in education. So if there's any golden flashes on this call, greatly appreciate it. Love my Kent State alumni. Like that. Okay. And if anybody was an Akron Zip, don't hold it against me, or that rivalry still holds true. Nothing wrong with Akron Zips, had a lot of great people there, but the rivalry is still strong today. So I get it. But really appreciate being here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just chat with you guys probably for the next 20 minutes. I'll give you a little bit of information about our College Now mentoring program. So if you've heard about it, great. If you haven't heard about it, great. I know sometimes, especially if you've heard it a few times, sometimes hearing it that second or third time can really, really open your eyes to seeing this on a bigger level. So really excited to go ahead and share this information. So hopefully I won't show my age too much, and I'll go ahead and act like I know what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly here. Right. And give me a clap or use one of those emojis to let me know that you guys see this presentation good to go. I saw, there's a little perfect, excellent. I see a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Miss Foster, thank you. I appreciate that. You're the only one I can see right now. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll give you a little bit of information about College Now, who we are, what we do, let you know about our mentoring program, how that all ties in together, and I'll do my best to not talk so much. And you guys will actually hear from some internal staff members who work with you all about their experience about the mentoring program. So you'll hear that towards the end of the presentation. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want everybody to do, I'm actually an in-person type of person. I always like to be face-to-face, but obviously we're still kind of in this pandemic age. And I know a lot of companies are, we still have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So, I understand that the virtual space is kind of like the new normal. And I know everybody gets, kind of this Zoom fatigue or WebEx fatigue, whatever. So I get it. I understand it. So the best way that I can personally interact without shaking any hands today is if everyone can just be active participants. I want you guys to go to this website, go to www.mentee.com and go ahead and put in this passcode real quick. 602-57905. So it's right there on your screen. And I just want to see how everyone's feeling today. I know it's Tuesday. We're not quite at hump day yet. But I just kind of want to get a feel for how everybody is feeling this afternoon. I know it's lunchtime. So go ahead, enjoy your meal. Let your hair down, kick your feet up. I promise you, this will be a very relaxed and very comfortable, presentation and convo that we're having. So if you guys see this, you can actually do this on your phone. So pull out your cell phone and go ahead and pull out this code. And I just want to see how everybody is doing today. Okay, great. Someone's hopeful. I like that. It's very good. Feeling good. I like that. If you feel good, I feel good. So trust me, positive energy goes a long way. My 7-month-old daughter, she's been a little bit under the weather. So I've been up since 5 a.m. Didn't get much sleep. So trust me, your guys' energy is well appreciated. And it's Tuesday. Tuesday is a man kind of day. So I get it. Some people are tired, decent, energized by my attitude. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Trust me, your guys' energy goes a long way. So if you're not having such a decent day, hopefully, I can rub you off, give you a little bit of good positive energy as we chat and move forward for the rest of the day. But I love hearing some of your guys' responses. Trust me, I'm tired. I'm actually cold too. I'm actually in a conference room right now, so I don't actually have my space heater. So trust me, it's a little chilly here as well. Grateful. I love it. Hopeful, energized. Really love the feedback, even if it's positive or so. So thank you guys for being active participants. And you guys can actually keep this up. So if you're tired of looking at my face or tired of looking at the screen, you can look at the presentation on your phone if you're on the move or if you're eating. So you can make sure you keep the mentee.com up. And, you can look at it through your phone as well if you're tired of looking at my face. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So what is college now? In a nutshell, our mission is to increase post-secondary education attainment. And for those of you, obviously I'm talking to everyone who's in the education space in some shape or form. It's not just enough for students to go to college. We want students to not only just go to college, we want students to graduate college, graduate at high rates and become productive members of society and contribute back to not only Cleveland, Ohio, but Northeast Ohio. So that's our overall mission. And then these are some of our 3 main ideas that we do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. We offer post-secondary access and success advising. So we have advisors that work alongside with school guidance counselors. We have a presence in every single Cleveland Metropolitan School District, huge presence in Cuyahoga County, and we're in several other counties as well, but our major presence is in Cleveland, Ohio. So I don't know if anyone has actually been at the high school level as far as teaching, as far as being a guidance counselor or what have you, but guidance counselors' jobs they have so much more on their plate than they've ever had in the past years. When I grew up, the guidance counselor was able to help me get through high school. They were able to help me fill out my college, applications, help me fill out scholarships and all that kind of stuff. But now, since guidance counselors' jobs, there's so much on their plate, that college access piece has been given to our College Now advisors, and they work specifically with all of our high school students as far as college essays, how to write those essays, how to apply for scholarships, college visits, FAFSA, all that stuff that entails as far as making sure that they can get into college and do it the right way. That's what our advisors are tasked with. And then the second main piece is financial aid counseling. I know I'm speaking with a college here today, but financial aid in my household was a curse word. It's still trying to pay some of those loans back, and understanding the financial aspect of college can be very overwhelming, not only for a college student, but even when we graduate. Because guess what? Whether you graduate or not, Sallie Mae is coming after you in the next 6 months. So we offer that financial aid counseling and aid for not only recent graduates, but those non-traditional students as well who are going back to school, because that's that can be very overwhelming. And then the last piece is our scholarship and retention services. And this is where our mentoring program falls into place, and we'll be able to discuss that here shortly. So the college experience. So what I want from everyone really quickly here is just take a quick moment, and I just want you to reflect. Whether you want to close your eyes, whether you want to, think about this rhetorically, and whatever you want to do, I just want you to reflect on how your freshman college experience was, okay? And as you're thinking about your college experience, I want you guys to let me know, what was your college experience as a freshman in college? Were you a commuter? Were you a first generation college student? Were you a second generation college student? How was it? Did you stay on campus? Were you a commuter? Were you involved in any on-campus activities? And were you involved with any student organizations? Were you involved in any fraternities, sororities? Did you stay at home? Were you full-time? Were you part-time? So if you guys don't mind sharing, just so we can keep it interactive, you can keep the answers short and sweet. But I just want to know what some of your guys' experiences were as college freshmen. I just kind of want to make sure that I can take you back to that place as we move forward and we talk about, our mentoring program. It'll kind of put you in a good space here. So first gen, nice. On campus in the first year hall. Yep. I remember when I was at Kent State University, I stayed in a small group, actually, which they tore down, but small group was specific for college freshmen only. All right, I love the answers and I love the transparency. So I really appreciate you guys trying to share these with me. Verder Hall, nice. I was a small group my freshman year, then I was at Allen Hall my sophomore and junior year. So Verder Hall, remember that. Someone says it was scary. It was so new that it caused me a lot of anxiety. Wow. Eventually, I transferred home due to this. I appreciate you guys sharing a lot of these experiences, and it'll be really good for everyone else just to see everyone else's experience, because this will put you in the mind state in terms of what our college freshmen are going through and some of those anxieties that they feel. Someone says they're trying to figure out their niche. Someone was overwhelmed. I completely understand that. Someone says they went to a big school and felt lost their first semester. Wow, I completely can feel and understand that. Changed my major 3 times and wanted to transfer. I'm only laughing because it sounds like myself. Sometimes you feel alone because you have all the, you're like, man, I'm overwhelmed. I also changed my major a whole bunch of times. I didn't even realize what I wanted to do until my junior year. And then I realized my junior year that I had an interest in history, and I took so many history courses. And after I talked to my academic advisors, they told me, you know what, you might want to go the history route as far as undergrad. So that was kind of my conversation that I had. But I appreciate the transparency from all of you guys. I see someone else, they stayed on campus their first year, but really appreciate you guys participating and sharing and being transparent with some of those experiences that you guys had in college, because that's really going to put us in the headspace in terms of looking at the students that we deal with. Okay. So thank you guys so much. Love the energy. I love the, here's another one. I was a 40-year-old working mom of 4. Wow. I worked at a regional college, so no real freshman experience. Well, that's okay. You had a college experience as a non-traditional student, and you're a mom of 4, so I commend you for that. So, some of us may have had that traditional experience. Some of us may have not had that traditional experience, but really appreciate you guys sharing. And it's actually pretty motivating because I don't feel so bad because I thought I was alone with some of these experiences and what I was feeling. So thank you guys for that. And this slide just shows you our COVID-19's impact on high school seniors to date. Okay. And I don't want to make this conversation about COVID, but it's still a really big deal. It's still going on. Unfortunately, it's still relative with our society and what's going on right now. So, I don't want to make this presentation about COVID, but, as you all were sharing your freshman college experiences, I want you to just take this snapshot of what these seniors are experiencing. So these are transitioning seniors who are graduating and going into college for their freshman year. And I just want you guys to really pay attention to this slide. I actually took this information. It was called the Carnegie Darlot study called The Power of Human Connection. So this was a study of about 1,500 seniors within the last year. And if you don't know who Carnegie Darlot is, they're actually one of the major innovators in the education space. They've got over 30 years of education experiences. So, great resource, great tool if you want to do your due diligence as far as that's concerned. But if you look at this, rapid changes to the higher education landscape resulted in a variety of questions about how fall will shape up for students. And these are some of the concerns with the seniors who were in this study. 60% of students say that an in-person experience is crucial, not only for their high school experience, but for their college experience. 3 out of 5 students say that an in-person experience with a prospective school is so crucial in making a choice for college, okay? And that last bullet point shows that students long for personal connection. So as we shared our college experiences, as we look at into 2021, our college experience is completely different from those seniors and those transitioning into college as freshmen. Is completely different than the experience that we had. So I really just wanted us to make that connection with how your experience was, but really get a snapshot of some of the issues that our students are going through as they transition into college, which is still really big. And we know the power of human connection is so crucial for having an imperative college experience. So as we look at this slide, the Idol of College, this just is a quick snapshot letting you know that if you have some type of professional degree, whether it's a 2-year degree, whether it's a 4-year, bachelor's, graduate, PhD, as long as you have some type of professional degree, your median earning is just going to be higher than someone who doesn't have a high school diploma, someone who has a high school diploma or less. I'm not saying that you can't be successful or you can't make money only having a high school diploma or GED. That's not what I'm saying at all. We know those countless of success stories, people who may not have a college degree, but just the median earnings show that those who have those degrees, they earn significantly higher than those who don't have a professional degree. And that's just the reality of it. So when we look at this slide, when we look at the reality of college, a lot of the students that we service, as I mentioned, our student population that we service, a lot of the students, almost a little over 50% of students are from Cuyahoga County. They have a presence in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. And like I said, we have several other counties that, we have a footprint in as far as students, but a lot of our students are coming from Cleveland. And what we've realized is that the journey to get to college is already in and of itself, it's overwhelming. It can be high stress, a lot of anxiety, and getting into college is only the first step. So when we look at a lot of the student populations that we service, once they get into college, food shortage is one of the biggest issues that our college freshman students go through. So, a lot of our students, they're first generation college students. They're coming from tough backgrounds. They don't have parents who understand college, the importance of college. So getting to college, they really get there, basically on the hair of their chin, and then they have to worry about food, then they have to worry about housing. So, food shortage in the amount of our students who go hungry as college freshmen is a really big deal, and that's a problem for our students. And then also in general, a lot of students are dropping out with debt. There's a high increased number of African-American students and Hispanic or Latino students that are dropping out at higher rates of debt in college. And then also, especially those, who are, below that poverty level, those numbers are high as well. But if you look at it across the board, the numbers are just high across the board for everyone, but there are significant amounts of dropout rates for those students, for our minority students. And that's just the reality of the situation, especially as we move into 2021 and go into 2022. So changing the calculus, what are we doing to combat this? Say Yes to Education has been a huge initiative out in Cleveland for the last several years. And the city of Cleveland, this just lets you know a lot of the organizations who are huge in helping that Say Yes to Education initiative. And for anyone who isn't familiar with Say Yes to Education, Cleveland was the fourth and final partnering city with Say Yes, which is huge. That's a phenomenal task, and that's a phenomenal, that's phenomenal. And with that, they have a 25-year plan to give full tuition scholarships to students who are in high financial need, for those students who reside or go to the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. So, that's one of the things that we're doing to make sure that we can combat those dropout rates. So when we look at mentoring to graduation, on-time graduation now is considered a little over 5.5 years, so I don't have to feel too bad because I was on the 5.5-year plan. For some reason, I thought that I wasn't as good a student because I wasn't out in 4 years. But graduation on time is considered 5.5 years, so I guess I don't feel too bad nowadays. But when we look at the numbers, 42% of Pell Grant eligible students, and all that means, and I know I'm speaking with some educators on here, but if you don't know what that means, those are just students who are in that high financial need category. That's all that means. And that's really typically the largest student population that we service. And if you look at the national average, 55% of all students graduate on time. When you look at that, that's still scary because it's another almost 50% of students who aren't graduating on time. Which is still a really big deal. And then when we look at the College Now Mentoring Program, 70% of students who are paired with a College Now mentor graduate on time. We're really proud of the fact that we're higher than the national average, and we're way higher than the student population average that we service. But that number is not at 100%, which still means that we have a lot of work to do. But we are proud of the numbers, and we do know that students who are paired with mentors in our program have a higher graduation rate, and which is higher. So we're really proud of that fact. This just shows you, these are actually some quotes from some of our students. And as you all were sharing some of your personal experiences and your college experiences as freshmen, or as non-traditional students, maybe you can actually feel like you weren't alone, okay? These are some quotes from some of our actual students in the program. And as you take a look at this slide, just reflect on some of those experiences that you shared, a few minutes ago. One of the students says, as you can see, I would have been more stressed regarding my financial situation with college. Another person says, without the mentoring program, I wouldn't have had such a smooth transition into college. I would have been very lost and isolated my freshman year. So when I look at this slide, it kind of takes me back to freshman year and my sophomore year of college, because you know what? I didn't have a mentor in college. I had two parents who were, they graduated from college, they were professors, and every time you hear your parents tell you not to do something, guess what? As a college freshman, me being away from my parents, I'm doing the exact opposite of what my parents told me not to do. I don't know why we do that, and I don't know if we have any parents or grandparents on this WebEx presentation this afternoon, but I don't know why. If my parents told me not to do something, I did the exact opposite. I don't know why. I don't know why we do that, but I just did. So I'll give you an example. No one taught me about credit cards. So my first credit card that I got was at the end of my freshman year of college. I got several credit cards, and I was excited about it. But my parents told me not to get one. No one educated me. I didn't have a mentor educate me and saying, hey, you know what? You should pay your balance off in full every single month. It's not good to carry balances and just make minimum payments and have a 35% APR on your credit card. I didn't understand interest. I didn't understand that compound interest. I didn't understand about, only making minimum payments. So I had messed up my credit a lot as a college freshman, okay? And I just think about having a mentor, if they kind of explained how credit cards worked, I probably would have a better understanding of how those things work right now to this date. So, I completely understand, and some of those things as far as having mentors, and I think about if I had a mentor, would completely change my aspect on how I look at credit cards to this date. So why a mentoring program? We obviously talked about, the financial aspect is huge, helping students navigate, making sure that they're getting to the right places on campus to have those conversations about dealing with their finances, meeting with their academic advisors, making sure they're taking enough credit hours, making sure they're on track to graduation and understanding what classes that they need. So we know that those pieces are important as we help students navigate, their college experience. But I think the last two pieces, especially as we're in this post-pandemic era, and we kind of still have one foot in, social adaptation and cultural integration, I think these two are probably the most important. And so as you guys think about this, think about where you went to high school from. At least with me, I was used to seeing people that look like me, talk like me, sound like me, had the same skin color as me, like the same music. But I soon realized that when I stepped foot on a college campus, I realized that people did not look like me. There were people that looked like me, but there were people from all walks of life, white, black, different religions, people from this country, people from other countries. So, having a mentor, expose you and helping you have conversations with people that may not look like you is so crucial. So, we know that college campuses, they're big melting pots, and helping students have conversations with people who they may have ever had a conversation with before in life is huge. And I think the social adaptation piece is even more imperative because personal connection, I think, is huge. You got to understand, that the college experience that these students are going through right now has them feeling isolated, lost. A lot of them are still doing classes virtually. A lot of them are doing campus tours virtually, and that's an uncomfortable thing to have. A college experience is really, you want it to be face to face. I was used to seeing my friends on campus and walking into those big college classrooms and seeing my teachers and interacting with my professors, and we didn't have to wear masks. So that social interaction piece is so crucial for these college freshmen. So how does our mentoring program work? We'll go over this in the next minute or two, and then you'll get a chance to hear from some mentors, some of your colleagues who are mentors. So I'll be able to stop talking here in the next few minutes. But how does our mentoring program work? Right now, we're currently servicing 1,700 students, and 1,700 students is, when I look at that number, that's amazing, because our mentoring program actually only started with a cohort of only a couple hundred students. But because of Say Yes and because of those scholarship dollars that we've been able to award out, we've increased to servicing almost 1,700 students, looking to service 1,800 students this next year. And we're still anticipating a freshman class of up to 900 students next year. So every year, since Say Yes to Education, I've been tasked with recruiting 1,000 mentors every single year. And this upcoming year is going to be no different. So, we always have a big task ahead of us every year. So, but we're really excited about pouring out those scholarship dollars and servicing more students each year. But hence, we need more mentors to help those students as well. So the structure of the program is this: you just need to have a 2 or 4 year degree, and you'll be matched with one college freshman student, and you'll stay with that college freshman student until they complete graduation. And how the program works is it's an online interaction. So you'll send out 2 emails per month, and you'll meet with your student 3 times virtually per year. And depending on your comfort level, you can have those meetings face to face if you'd like to. But right now, just to be on the safe side and to make sure we're following health protocols, those meetings are virtual. 3 virtual meetings per year. Okay, so when we look at this slide, a lot of our mentors, sometimes they haven't mentored before, or they say, I've had kids who've been out of college for years, and the 2 biggest things that I always hear people say is, I don't know if I would be able to have enough time to mentor, or I don't know if I could mentor a student. And if you're thinking about those 2 questions, I can say, you're absolutely wrong. You can be a mentor to a college freshman student, and you'd be surprised that such a small amount of time per month, 2 emails per month and 3 meetings per year, really in the grander scheme of things, isn't a lot of time. And I think that time is the most valuable commodity that we have on the planet, because we can never get enough of it back. We always can make more money, but we can't make more time. So, that small time commitment every single month makes a world of a difference for our college students. This is just a quick snapshot of how our online platform works. We're really excited because we've been in the online space before the pandemic. So, our College Now Mentoring program, we've had this online platform before the pandemic. So it's really worked out really well. We haven't been affected by the pandemic because of how we've been able to navigate the online space. But this is just a quick snapshot of how it works, and how you can get involved with the program. As you can see, Robert Downey Jr. is in the top right corner. Unfortunately, I didn't have the pleasure of recruiting him as a mentor, and as a matter of fact, he's not a mentor actually. But we just have him up there for the sake of example, so you can see how that online platform works. So this is what we use not only to help you engage with your students, but also to interact with other mentors as well. We take the matching process very seriously with you and your student. So we have different algorithms with our program that help us make sure that we're matching you and making sure that you have the best fit for your student. So if you're asking yourself, what am I going to say to a college freshman? We have different prompts that we give you. We have a phenomenal curriculum that kind of navigates you with how to have open-ended questions with your college freshman student. And you're not doing this thing alone. So we're not just going to, I'm not going to just say, hey, Heidi, here's you with your college freshman student. Good luck. We'll hear from you in the next 4.5, 5 years. Kind of walk away. That's not how this works. We do this as a team. We've got several College Now staff members that work with you and your student, and we do this together. So you're not by yourself when you're, when you're with your college freshman student. It's a team effort. So who participates? I know I had mentioned this earlier, but like I said, a little over 52% of our students are from the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. We've got 500 different employers in different spaces, from nonprofits, colleges, universities, banks, financial institutions, what have you, that are participants in our program. So we've got 500 different employers across Cleveland and Northeast Ohio who are participants in our mentoring program. And as I mentioned earlier, 70% of our College Now students graduate on time. 92% of mentees return for their sophomore year of college. I think that stat is so huge because I couldn't tell you how many times that I said to myself as a freshman that I wanted to quit. I didn't want to continue with school. I had a lot of self-talk conversations with myself in terms of really debating if this college experience was even for me. And to know that the students who are paired with mentors in our program, 92% return their sophomore year, which is such a huge, crucial part of the battle. And I knew that when I came back my sophomore year, I knew that I was going to graduate for sure. So we know that first year experience and those first year connections and conversations with mentors is so crucial in helping those students graduate on time. And at the end of the day, it's a great way to improve your own skills, expand your network, And it's a good way to pay it forward. You know, a lot of the experiences that we had in college, you know, I remember you all sharing some of the experiences that you had. You know, imagine just helping a student navigate some of those issues that we had as college freshmen, but now you're the mentor. So a great way to pay it forward, a great way to give back, and also work on your own leadership skills as well. And at the end of the day, you know, Cleveland and Northeast Ohio benefit. You know, not only do we want students graduating college, but we want students graduating college and contributing back to the city of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. You know, at the end of the day, when we pair and mentor these students, we want to keep that great talent pipeline pouring back into the city of Cleveland. And I'm pretty sure, you know, everyone on this virtual meeting today can definitely agree that the good talent is hard to find. You know, especially those of you who may be in HR or, you know, different departments, or, you know, have different capacities at your job. You know that finding good talent is very hard. So imagine if we keep this talent that we have in our city, we keep them graduating, we're going to continue to pour back into our city to make it a better place. And that's the overall end goal. So now at this time, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Hopefully I didn't bore everyone to death. Hopefully I wasn't talking too much. But at this time, you know, I'm really excited to have the opportunity for you guys to hear from some of your colleagues. I'm glad because, you know, I'm getting a little cotton mouth as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick sip of water. And we have several mentors that you'll get a chance to hear from. But the first one, if she's on here today, is Herbrina. Did I say that right? Hopefully I said that right. Are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Hi.
great. Hey, Herbrina. So just go ahead and just take a quick minute to share about your experience with the mentoring program with you and your student. You know, really appreciate you taking the time to do that today. So thank you.
Of course. Hi, everyone. So I have been a College Now mentor for 4 years now. My mentee is graduating in the summer from the Ohio State University. So I would have to say that College Now did a great job putting me and my mentee together. She's been texting me through the entire presentation, which is really funny. So when we first met, we met obviously pre-COVID. So we met at the banquet that College Now has when you meet your mentees. And from the day one, we talked nothing but music. So that was like one of our bonding things that we had. She's a huge Prince fan, and I'm a huge Prince fan. And so from that, that's how we built our relationship. And so I know Jabari talked about the Cronus, the online system that they use for College Now. We kind of went rogue. We just text each other back and forth, but it sends you a reminder email every now and then when you don't have any activities on there. And so we will send an email like, this is just to keep us updated to make sure, you know, we were still connected with the College Now system. Also, College Now used to have events before COVID, and so we attended a few of their events that they had. We went to an Indians game together, which was really, really fun. I think that was her first time at Progressive. I might have took her to get a certificate to say that was her first time at the stadium. But once we went virtual with COVID, I started to send her care packages like snacks and things, especially masks and hand sanitizers. And so she really appreciated like that from me, and that kind of built our relationship even stronger. And Netflix started a like party thing where you can watch movies at the same time and like chat with each other. And so that is one of the things that we did during like when we were in like shutdown. And the movie that we watched was the Purple Rain, and it was just amazing because we were just like yelling and screaming and like singing along to all the beautiful Prince songs and everything like that. And so I texted her and told her that I was going to be talking about her today. And I was like, wait, you're a senior, you're about to graduate, because, you know, COVID times, I forget time and years and things like that. And she's like, yeah, I'm graduating in the summer. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so awesome. I'm going to get you something. And one of the things that I decided to get her, which was one of our very first conversations, is that she'd never been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before. And so my plan is to take her after she graduates. So College Now is a great program. It has connected me to my mentee, Will Jasmine, and I think that we will be friends forever. So yes.
All right, awesome, Sabrina. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And I also know that we're going to hear from a few other people. Pamela, are you on the call with us?
I am, yes.
Great, Pamela, it's all yours.
Thank you. My mentee also is graduating. Like, she's set to graduate in May. She's not sure whether it'll be May or the summer from the Ohio State University. And I don't want to repeat a lot of what Sabrina said, but it was very much similar, the same things. One of the differences was, and I kind of want to make this point to everybody, like, schedules are crazy, even outside of COVID. You know, that became, she was in a summer program. So she left before the banquet, before the kickoff banquet. So it was a little bit harder to meet her, which I had no problem with, but it was awkward for her because she wasn't in that surrounding that everybody else was in the first time, where, you know, all of the the mentees are there kind of all in the same boat and whatever. I mean, I just simply met her at Chipotle, and I know she was thinking, oh, this is just not going to be good, but it ended up being very good. She left for the summer because of all the online classes. She actually moved in with her sister in Toledo. So I did not do a lot face to face with her probably over the last year. But again, like Sabrina said, we were always horribly reminded by Cronus because we just simply text back and forth. And it would be nice if they could kind of hook those together, but it was fine. But yeah, she was a delight. We didn't actually have a lot in common, except she was from a big family and I have a lot of kids. And so it was interesting from that standpoint, you know, well, are you going to get a job this summer? No, because I have to stay home with my two younger, siblings, that kind of stuff. But considering that we really maybe didn't have a lot in common, I graduated as an engineer I tried to remind her, from Penn State, which is a big rival of Ohio State, and she didn't really care about that, which she really shouldn't. And she was an engineering major, so that was kind of the connection. And we did talk a lot about what classes were hard and what ones weren't so bad, and things like that. But all in all, it's a great program. The other thing too, real quick, is that at Ohio State, and I'm sure many colleges, she was enrolled in different programs. And a lot of those programs took care of, for instance, finances, the financial aid part. I did very little with her financial aid because she had been enrolled in a program there that took care of it for her. She was also enrolled in, coming out of high school, a career services group or something. And so we just talked a little bit about making sure your resume was up to date and things like that. But she had a group that took care of that for her. It was more of reminders than actually sitting down and you'll figure all that out in the first probably 90 days of being a mentor, is what is she, what is he or she going to need help with and whatnot. So I can't plug the program enough.
Pamela, thank you so much for saying that, especially, on the piece as far as, the school took care of the academics and all the pieces that we're not equipped with. So one of the things I want to make sure that everyone realizes is we're not going to have you do anything that you're not equipped with. And Pamela, thanks for sharing that, because, it's not, we don't know, I don't know anything about FAFSA. It's not our job to deal with that, but we're going to make sure that we have the resources and those wraparound services to push students in the right direction. So, we're not doing anything. We're not equipped. Our only job, or your only job as a mentor, is just to continue to build that relationship and get to know them. So thank you, Pam, for stating that. That was really good. And then we'll hear from two more people, Melissa and Marissa. So we'll have Melissa go first if you are available.
Thank you. Again, my name is Melissa Koenig. I actually worked with a student who went to Ohio University, which is my alma mater. And we really there weren't a lot of things that we had in common with each other, but I think what we really found was that I could help her like truly in the academic realm, where she would send me her resume and I would help her prepare for interviews. She actually got a job as an RA, and that's my background. So I kind of coached her to prepare her for that interview, and also highlighted like, you're missing this whole skill set. So don't forget to highlight these things that you can flaunt and say, I have experience doing this and this. So we're pretty different. I guess we were connecting over the fact that we were both athletes, but I mean, a lot of discussion about her summer plans and maybe considering a minor in business because she is a major in dance. And I said, your body's not gonna make it forever, so you need to have like something else that you'll be able to shift to. But she's been doing great, and it was really a unique environment with like the whole Black Lives Matter movement. We had some good conversations about George Floyd and like climate on campus and finding her niche. Basically through like, I was a recommendation letter for her sorority, and letters of recommendation for employment as well. So the kind of classic like mentee type things is more what my experience has been, but it's been great.
Thank you, Melissa. I really appreciate it. And we'll hear from our last person, Marissa. And I'll let you take it away, Marissa. Thank you for being on
Awesome.
the call.
Yeah, thank you. So I feel like we all have some similar threads and then some unique ones as well. So I guess I'm at a different stage in the mentee mentor journey because I just started last year. So I'm a newer mentor and was assigned, like at the end of summer, right before school started, to my mentee. And she's at Fordham University, Lincoln Center in New York City. So definitely not similar to my experience in that regard, but in terms of our areas of interest, I don't know if College Now could have picked a better student for me because we have so much in common. I felt like we had our first virtual meeting not too long ago, and I thought like, okay, like, we're kind of required to have a certain amount of time. So I thought like it was a Friday after work because that's what fit in her schedule. And I know, like how most of us feel by Friday after work, that I don't know about you, but like that's my night. I'm not going out. I'm going to go veg. Like I need to decompress for a minute. But having this meeting, I was like, okay, like this is, maybe going to be a half hour. And I think we talked for over an hour. I was just so like energized by her personality and the things we had in common. And it was more about just connecting at this point, like in making sure that she had someone she knew she could go to if she had questions. And like I said, I like literally got off that call and I like wanted to call someone, but like I'm like, who can relate to me? I guess I'm glad I saw some faces of current mentors because I'm like, I don't know anyone else who has this experience, but I was just so excited about working with her over like the next maybe 5 years. And I know her Brina left the call, but like her story got me a little emotional because I'm like, oh, I could see that happening like in this situation too. And so it was just like a really encouraging thing. And like if you're concerned or on the fence about like what that commitment is, I would just say like it's not a heavy lift for us because it's already kind of the world we live in. And so I think like we're so well equipped to be that support for someone. But it was also kind of a nice experience in that like, yes, I know all these things because I'm a counselor at Tri-C, right? Um, but I also like I don't have to wear that hat 24/7 with her, where like with our students same is true, but I may not always get the opportunity to engage in those ways and just be all about like having that connection and being her resource when she needs help or needs a reference or things like that. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm still new to it, but I'm also like not overwhelmed by it. So if you're scared about mentoring, like I wouldn't be like, and I'm normally like that anxious person, but my experience so far has been A+.
Thank you, Marissa. I really appreciate it. And thanks for everyone for sharing their testimonies. Like I said, I always like to say this: facts tell, which is me running my mouth, but stories sell. So, there's so many different stories, different experiences, different positive things, or maybe some learning moments. So, uh, you all are the ones who make the program run. You guys are the ones who make the difference in our students' lives. I'm just the messenger. So appreciate all of you for sharing your stories. We actually had more people who were willing to share, but I had to kind of tone down a little bit. You guys are a positive group, so really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and wrap up here on our last slide. So give me 1 second here. We will be done here in a second. So next steps. So if you are interested in the mentoring program, or if anything piqued your interest, these are the next steps. If you're interested in applying, our deadline is April 1st of 2022. I'll make sure I go ahead and send you that link to be a mentor. After you fill out the application, which is really easy, takes about 10 to 15 minutes, you'll have a 15-minute phone interview with the College Now staff. And then you'll attend a 90-minute orientation virtually, which goes over all the ins and outs of what it takes to be a College Now mentor, expectations, what things to look for, all the good stuff, because we kind of just did a soft touch right here, but you'll really be well equipped by the time you're done with that 90-minute orientation. You'll join our online platform, and then you'll be matched in the summer of 2022. And you'll attend our virtual kickoff event. Right now, they're virtual kickoff events, but hopefully in 2022, we'll be able to, hopefully we'll be able to attend an in-person kickoff event like we did a few years back. So that's basically it. And if you still have Mentimeter pulled up, if you're interested in wanting more information, or you want to apply to be a mentor, just go ahead and put your name and email. I'll make sure within the next 24 hours, I'll send you some information on how to apply to be a mentor. Or if you just want more information, if you like what you heard, if you want to be a mentor, if you're interested, make sure you just have the mentee.com pulled up. Make sure you have that code, and just put your name and email if you are interested in applying, or you just want more information about the program. Okay. So at this time, Heidi, I'm not sure how this actually would potentially work. I'll leave this slide up as we kind of get into our Q&A question. Heidi, I don't know if we have a quick minute or two to have any questions, or any burning questions or thoughts that someone may have had as we were going over the presentation. So hopefully you guys have a few questions for me. I know I wasn't that good, so if you guys have questions, that means you're paying attention and being locked in. So, Heidi, at this time, if anybody has questions, or if anybody wants to get off of mute and ask me a quick question, I think we have a few minutes for some questions, and that I don't mind answering for anyone.
And you are that good. You are amazing. Thank you so much. And I've been a mentor as well. It's such a fulfilling experience. So, like I said, I recorded this. So if you guys have questions, obviously Jabari is here. If not, you can email Jabari or email me, and I can get your question over to College Now. I'll also share this recording. So like I said, if you have colleagues or friends that you think might benefit from watching or being a mentor, they'll have access. But yeah, thank you, Jabari.
Awesome, great. I really appreciate it. And if anyone else, oh, actually, let's see here. Give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry, guys. I saw some stuff in the chat real quick, Heidi. I just wanted to make sure I was.
I do see. Okay, so one of the questions that came forward, an experience with a mentor or mentee that was not picture perfect. I could actually answer this because I've had two mentees, and maybe it's just me because I feel like the one just did not like me. But then I learned from the next one. I think she was very introverted. If you guys know me, I'm extra, and